It's one thing to have faith, but it's another thing to actually move in that faith. Join me as I believe. Poet, mother, teacher. Why not believe together? Hey. So I am back. I've been telling you guys during my Bible studies that this is more than just a channel for me to do Bible studies. This is more of a lifestyle challenge. So I am excited for today because today I am going to start my Sassy and Bossy series. Hopefully this week I'll be before you too with one of my Bible study, my daily devotionals, because I don't want to stop that. I really love doing that, so I want to have that. But today we're starting Sassy and Bossy series, and this started just this thought for today's video and for today's conversation came specifically from my uncle. He's always asked. He said, "I don't care. I just want to know how you do it. How do you do it all? How do you do everything that you do? How do you do it all?" And for me personally, it was just my way of life. So I didn't really think, nothing about it. I really didn't think twice about it. But he's been asking, like, if I could sit down and have a conversation with you, I just want to know how you do it all, how you keep going, and stuff like that. So I will tell you. First episode is how I got my master's degree while working full time and being a full time mommy. And there's been some things with that too. So the first thing that I would say, I have to make mention that I am prior military. So getting up early in the morning is quite normal for me. So that's when I would get all my work, my research done for my papers, my reading done. And let me tell you what too, audio, having the books read aloud, because when you're taking classes for the online masters, a lot of your books you can purchase through Vital Chef, and Vital Chef has like this, they have this option in which you can just hit and you can listen to the audio, which works wonders for me because guess what? I can listen to my audiobook while I'm cooking and or cleaning or exercising. So that works wonders for me, and that helps me to get my studying in without me having to take away from my household chores. So that's one of the things that I did. And like I mentioned, my study time, a lot of the time when I was getting my first master's degree, I would just be up between 1 and 4. Not necessarily saying that I would be up the entire time from 1 to 4, but that was my time range in which I would wake up, do research, study, do work. And mind you, I'm doing an audiobook. So that time is generally for writing papers, doing research and all of that stuff, and answering discussion posts and discussion questions and all of that. So that's how I did that. And that's, for me, it was perfect because the entire house was quiet. Okay. I must make mention too, that's now like literally, that's when I do, if I go to bed on time like I'm supposed to, that's when I do a lot of my devotion and my personal time with God as well. So all of that stuff is included. And I just feel, for me, I work better when I first wake up in the morning. I have a fresh mind. I'm not cluttered down with things, and I can just get stuff done because I don't have kids saying, "Mommy, I need this. Mommy, can you do this? Mommy, can you do that? Mommy, can you do this? Can you?" So it worked better for me. Also, when I was getting my first master's degree, I had a newborn baby, and I had a baby in preschool, and I was breastfeeding my newborn baby. That is a whole discussion, a whole topic within itself, and we can talk about it if you guys like. But that was like, it was crazy. Like I was pulling my hair. Like, what was I thinking? Like breastfeeding. What was, what was I thinking? And I was really trying to breastfeed. And it was easy until till it was time to go back to work. And then, so I had to make sure I had enough bottles pumped up or, and inside the refrigerator, because my son was crazy about the breast milk, and he would have this thing where he would lay there and just go to sleep. So that was like, I'm like, "Sir, wake up so we can finish," But just making sure that anytime my breast was full, that making sure I'm pumping out, because that's extra milk that when I'm away, I don't have to worry about whether or not he has it. So when they're full, I just pump. So one of the other tricks that I did that aided me and made it a little bit easier for me to maintain raising children, going for a master's degree, and working. At the time, I was getting my first master's degree. My daughter was in preschool, so I started volunteering at the preschool. because I'm one of those moms, I couldn't work when I was pregnant. So I had to basically start over again. And so my daughter was in preschool, so I started volunteering, then I got a job there, which was awesome because my master's degree was in education. So I was majoring in education. And I'll tell you why it was awesome. Granted, the job did not pay that much, but it paid off in other ways because it helped me aid in research, because I was already in that atmosphere. I was majoring in education, did a specialization in early childhood education. So that helped me to be able to do something because I was in the environment. So when it came time for activities to design a classroom or to interview teachers and stuff, like I was already in the environment, I could do that. And then I'm doing my schoolwork all the while getting paid. And it worked out well because, and when you're in the education field and you're always looking for ways to participate in professional development. So for me, I was just getting in there. So it was a win-win, not just for me, but for the company that I was working for, because it was helping me develop too, as an employee as well. So that helped out. That worked. Oh, and then meals and cooking and prepping. Oh, we could talk about that for days, and I might come back. I should come back. I will come back and do another episode on cooking. I'm not that good at filming to be able to film myself showing you guys some of the stuff. So, but I'm gonna try my best. How about that? I'm gonna try to see what I can do. Okay, but cooking. One of the best things that I could have ever done was crock pot. Oh my God, crock pot was my best friend. You talking about baked chicken, pot roast, spaghettis, what else did I put in a crock pot? And back then I was cooking, like, my diet was totally different. So I'm cooking like anything soul food, Boston butt in the crock pot, like anything you can think of soul food, I'm cooking it in a crock pot. It was easy because in the crock pot, the crock pot is so awesome because you can put food in there and you can just let it cook all day long while you're at work, as long as it's on low. So you have to be mindful. I like spaghettis. Those have to be on low if you're making those and you putting them in a crock pot and you leaving them in a crock pot. Now, the things like the rolls, the Boston butts, the baked chicken, or the crock pot chicken, all of that stuff, you can put it on high and it'll still be good throughout day, all day. And I used to cook stuff like chicken and noodles, chicken and rice, those type of things like that. And if you let it in the crock pot, if you let it stay in the crock pot all day long, that chicken is falling off the bone. You hear me? Okay. My greens, I used to put in the crock pot. So I might not cook my meat for the meal in the crock pot. Instead, I might put my cabbage or my string beans or whatever in a crock pot. That's one thing I already have done before I even started preparing dinner. So it takes a load off of me. I'm doing that when I'm up doing my research, my schoolwork. Okay, let me go and cut these greens up, put them in a crock pot. I put them on low all day long. They're done. They've had time to set in my good meat or whatever I put in there to, add flavor. And by the time I get ready to add my chicken or whatever, boom, there it is. A trick too, because I was trying to do anything I can, still is. You know me, anything to try to save money. So I was deep frying my chicken, because one, it was quicker. Two, I had less likelihood that I would burn my chicken. And so cheap way, I had a deep fryer, but using that deep fryer, you got to constantly clean it. It was just like, whereas when you, deep fry your chicken in a pot, you're going to clean it like when you wash dishes. So it's not like and it's not like a whole lot of cleanup. It's just your preference. But I deep fried a lot of like the chicken and fish and some of the stuff we cook. Like I said, again, back then, my diet was a lot different. What else did I do? And mind you, during this time too, not only did I work, I was in the military too. So I was in the reserve at the time. So yeah. And I had duties with them that I had to keep up as well too. And one of the things that has made me more effective managing a whole heap of stuff, a whole lot of stuff, especially like now, I write to-do lists. And those to-do lists starts from the time I wake up. So I have allowed my time. Just the same way I would budget my money, I have to budget my time. So this get an hour and a half. I should be done with this by this time, by that time, by this time. And working like that, and see, I have a to-do list first, and then I go and set out the time for it. So by doing that, I have a more likelihood that I will complete the task. Yeah, so that's I think that was like some of my best tricks that I used. And it kept me, because I wasn't cheating or looking for, answers and things online. It kept me with integrity. Um, yeah, and I too, like writing these master's papers, your thought of your point of view, you don't have to constantly change it just because the classes change. And so that was another thing too. Like my thought and my point of view, I stuck with my guns. Like once I grabbed hold to something and I firmly believed in it, you probably seen that thought of concept come up in a lot of my papers. However, it had to match with the class and the subject matter at hand. Y'all, this is my Sassy and Bossy series. I am going to put it in a playlist separate below. If you have not done so, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you know some moms, or I don't know, some hard workers, or somebody that's trying to, and let me tell y'all too, before I go, I am not one who is well put together and organized. I do not want you guys to think that, because that is not me. I am go spread at the moment type of person, whatever. But I am also driven enough to know, like, okay, I have to get this done. So mild disclaimer, but if you guys know any moms that could benefit from this content that I'm putting out in the Sassy and Bossy series, and when I'm talking about sassy and bossy, we're going to go in, and it could, like I said, my uncle asked for this information, so it could be guys, anybody that can benefit from this content. Please send them over to this channel, like and subscribe, share this video if you can. Remember, love with your whole heart, because I love you.